Going Dutch. How many times have we heard that terminology, that term? Nowadays, it's used to meant to split the bill evenly among people. Originally, it meant that each person pays exactly that which they themselves had to pay for. So if you get a Coke, fries, and a seaweed burger and bagel, you pay the Coke and the fries and the seaweed burger. Going Dutch.
Daddy wasn't finding a bow wow. Daddy wasn't finding a bow wow. I love my little cat. I'm very fond of that. I'd rather have a pig. Bow wow 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 wow. Daddy
Hello and welcome to the Mochiverse. I'm Linette.
And I'm Skip.
Going Dutch.
Going Dutch.
You know, it's funny. They just released the new episodes of season 2 of the show Going Dutch,
Ah, okay. That's funny.
which
Yeah.
which I recommended to you. It's a cute show. It's got yeah, Dennis Leary. You remember him?
Oh, okay. Adam Densler. He's in a lot of stuff lately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he plays like a colonel
Oh, yeah, yeah.
in
I've
in
seen
the army.
the advertisement for that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He's a colonel in the army and he pisses off his superior. So his superior sends him to this base in a town called Stroopsdorf. And it's like a joke of a base because it's like not a serious army base. It's like they're all just partying and stuff. They're
Oh,
not
yeah,
partying, but
yeah.
like they're living a Dutch life, which is like a happier life where
Oh,
they're
yeah.
just like making cheese and socializing and having
Hmm.
nice food and good education and things like that. And he's like,
Wow.
"What the hell is this? There's not even any guns here. What kind of army
Yeah.
base is this?" And he's all pissed off that he's stuck there. And also his daughter is like in charge of the base,
Oh, okay. Even better.
which he
Wow.
hasn't spoken to in like 5 years. So like
Okay.
there's that whole
There's a
thing he
setup.
has to
Yeah.
yeah, he has to
Yeah.
like rebuild his relationship with his daughter. It's a
Oh,
really
okay.
cute show. It's very funny.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so Going Dutch, let's talk
Going
about
Dutch.
yeah, where does it come from?
Okay. Well,
Is it
yeah, actually, the
problematic? That's
Dutch
what I want to know.
don't use that terminology. Going Dutch as an expression.
Right.
You're not going to hear a Dutch person say, "Leighton, we Netherlands gone," or "Let's go Dutch." You won't hear them say it. How
No.
about that one?
But I
Uh,
bet they do because it's a I mean it's I believe it's a socialist country and they probably do share things and do things that are fair.
yeah, it probably originated. This at least one theory is that it originated at the in the golden age that the English and the Dutch did some fighting, and so there
Okay.
was loathing between them, between the two, and they would be like, it, Dutch courage, I guess, would refer to courage achieved by drinking alcohol, you know. So going Dutch, you know, refers to everyone paying their own bill, you
Right.
know, which is not seen as nice toward the invited party. So
Well, yeah, so it's kind
yeah,
of like it's one of those things that's like not a nice thing to say like other things we don't say anymore like not gonna say them. There was a Seinfeld episode about that if you remember, where he was
okay,
like offending his girlfriend with everything he said that was like he
yeah,
didn't know they were like things to say about Native Americans the whole
right,
time.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And that's where the terminology that you normally hear is Dutch treat. You
Right.
know, uh, it's not a treat, but it's just you basically find that you pay for your own dinner. You know, uh, there's another theory is that it goes back to the Dutch door. The Dutch door is a door that splits in two.
Oh, okay.
We've seen those doors actually
Yeah.
in some shows. Uh, the fact that it splits would refer to splitting a bill.
Right.
You know,
And also like I'm willing to bet too because we're Americans
mm-hmm.
and I bet the word Dutch has nothing to do with the Dutch, and I bet it describes Germans. Like the
Yeah,
Pennsylvania Dutch aren't Dutch. It's like Deutsch,
yeah,
you
yeah, and
know?
that yeah. See, that's it's how these things evolve. As you and I know, we've been talking about this, and the idea that we look at every time we talk about these idioms is how did it originate? And it's
Mhm.
always interesting how these things originated.
Right. Oh
Anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that's
There's some derogatory origins,
mhm.
um, which are similar to Dutch courage. That's supposed to be that's supposed to be derogatory, yeah, because it's
Yeah,
like it's false courage because you're drinking. And basically, they were calling the word Dutch as a derogatory term for something cheap or substandard,
right. Hmm.
like welshing on a bet and things like
Right.
that, like
Yeah,
saying a
things like
bad thing
that.
about the
Exactly right.
people. Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah,
That's
there's a lot of sayings that can be traced to that kind of thing. But then it also has nice ones like the Pennsylvania Dutch, who are not Dutch.
yeah,
They were known for communal dining because they live in the Amish communities that are like
right,
everything is shared. And so
right,
because everything is shared, they would call that going Dutch. Yeah.
right.
Very
Exactly.
interesting.
Yeah. So the English language is just so fascinating at time.
Yeah.
The one thing I ran into is uh, redundant phrases,
Oh,
things
yeah,
that are
mem
redundant.
I
Yeah,
had some of those a
yeah,
couple of weeks ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you may have covered these
Yeah.
blatantly obvious.
Oh,
You
no, I
know,
didn't cover that one. That's a good one. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah. Uh, sometimes people refer to these redundants as word overflows,
Right.
because blatant and obvious means the same thing, you
Right.
know. So that's kind of where redundant phrases come from,
Yeah.
and like passing fad, you
Yep.
know,
Yep.
that term originally originates from the word faddle,
Oh,
which means overly concerned with trifles.
really? Oh, that's a nice word.
Yeah,
Like fiddle faddle.
fiddle
Ah,
faddle. There you go.
very nice.
Safe haven. You know,
Right. Right.
it's Polonism is not as
Yes.
fun as it sounds. It's a fancy word for redundancy.
Yes,
Yes.
that was the term for it. Yes, we talked
Yeah.
about it sounding like a disease.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So you got that unexpected surprise.
Yes, yes.
It's not really a surprise.
It's another favorite.
Uh, Sudden impulse. It's the same thing.
Oh,
Unexpected and
sudden impulse is
surprise.
a good one. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good one. It's try to have an impulse that's not sudden.
Right. Yeah.
Try. Go ahead. Try it.
Exactly.
And hey, listen, what is the end result?
Yeah, the end result. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
So it's like it's possible to have a result before the end.
Hmm.
Why even bother, right?
Right.
Technically, the result occurs at the end.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's one that's no longer maybe it's no longer redundant term anymore. True facts.
true facts. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That used to be one, but it's not anymore.
yeah. Yeah, there's another one that's nonfiction, something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
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 Uh,
Yeah. That's good. I like that.
yeah. So I thought it was interesting. Something that was like kind of this is really covering like just the redundancy is covering something we talked about before.
Hmm.
But here's one that's I always call them coinky dinks, and this is not a great coinky dink. And this guy Harry Zingland, he broke off his engagement, leading his ex fiancee to take her own life.
Yeah.
Her brother vowed to avenge her death and shot Zingland.
Hmm.
Believing he killed him, the brother killed himself. But Zingland survived due to the bullet deflected by a nearby tree.
Mm.
Years later, Zingland decided to remove the tree using dynamite,
I've heard this one.
which
Yes.
dislodged the bullet and fatally striking him.
Yes, I heard that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a rough one. I mean, like that's a good ghost origin story too. I was just thinking
Oh,
about the fiance who gets jilted.
yeah,
She
yeah,
always ends up wandering, the floors of a hotel
yep,
that's haunted. But yeah.
yeah. And the other one, this is sort of a rehash or something, is the character Goldilocks
Hmm.
in the Three Bears was not originally a little girl, but an old woman in
Mm.
the early version of the tale. In the one version of the Aladdin story from the Arabian Nights.
Yeah.
Aladdin is actually from China.
Yeah, he's from China. That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember reading that. Yep. Well, the old woman in Goldilocks makes sense because she's so
yeah,
freaking fussy
yeah,
about
exactly.
how comfortable everything is and how the food is. Oh, it's too hot. Oh,
Right.
it's too cold. I don't like this chair. Like,
It
I know
absolutely.
toddlers can be the same way, but
Yeah, but older people more like that,
yeah.
And this is, by the way, this is kind of short today because I figured we would have more discussion on some of these things.
Oh, yeah.
The tale of Hansel and Gretel is thought
Oh,
to have
yeah.
been influenced by the Great Famine of 1315 to
Oh
1317.
gosh. Is it the
Yeah.
eating children part or the
Yep.
breadcrumbs part?
Well, during which the food was so scarce that some people were driven to abandon their children
Oh,
or even resort to cannibalism.
yeah. Just like leaving them out in because they got left out in the woods.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's interesting because we covered, the dark side of fairy tales at one point, and I don't remember us bringing that up.
No, I
But
don't think we covered that one.
mm,
But it's funny because that we're talking about this again because I had a really cute interaction with some visitors to this country who
mhm.
were Dutch, actually.
Okay, the
Um,
Dutch, yeah.
yes, and because they were Dutch, I showed them my little mermaid statue that I have. I got this little, it's so cute. I got this little mermaid from a customer who was very
Oh,
sweet, who was going to visit his brother in Copenhagen.
yeah,
And I jokingly said, "Oh, you should, say hello to the Little Mermaid statue for me because they have the statue on the water of the Little
yeah.
Mermaid." And he brought me a small one, so I have it as like a little token in my workplace so that, if I get a little stressed out, I just give her a little tap on the head. She's very nice. And so these
Ah,
these folks, I brought it out. I said, "Look what I have." And they were impressed and everything. And he says, "Oh, so and the husband said, "You know about the real story, right? It's not exactly like Disney." And so I said, "Let me tell you about my podcast."
there you go.
We talked
Yeah.
about, yeah, we talked about like, Sleeping Beauty and things like that. And
Oh,
then I
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about Grimm's fairy tales. And
Hmm.
he says, "Oh, you don't sleep much, do you?" Because I like all the dark stuff. And I said, "No, I'm actually a very good child. I don't go outside when I'm not supposed to. I don't I don't speak out of turn.
Yeah, yeah.
I've learned all the correct lessons, and I was not brought up German or Dutch, but um, I was raised on the morality lessons of Grimm's fairy tales
Yeah.
by reading them."
Yeah, well, it's like the same way you think about growing up. We were having this discussion about this was when growing up, when we were kids, there were a lot of just like this, the Grimm's fairy tales, but
Yeah,
for us, it was more like this was the advent of horror movies, the creature from the
yeah,
Black Lagoon and the
right.
boogeyman and all these other things. And I think every child, I won't say every child, maybe most children go through this, where they'll be scared that something is in the closet or
Hmm.
they see a pile of clothes and they think it's a monster,
Right.
and it just and you're laying there in bed with your eyes open, you're afraid to go to sleep or else the monster's going to get you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, in American culture, ours were a little bit friendlier, I mean, Santa Claus is a little bit menacing because he's watching you all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but generally for kids of my generation and probably your generation, generally a friendly character, not
Yep.
quite like Krampus or anything like that.
Right. Right.
But I could bet I'd probably not because you lived in the city, but if you were raised in the country, I bet your parents would have threatened you that if you didn't behave, like they were going to sell you to the gypsies.
Could be. Could be.
Because that was a thing that people did
Yep.
in smaller towns. They're like, "I'm going to sell
Yeah.
you to the gypsies."
Yeah. It's funny just thinking when I thought about that story about the monsters and stuff. It reminds me of my cousin and I were in the Boy Scouts and we went camping, and it was part to get this one of our badges,
Yeah.
and we went in the Blue Hills and we slept in a lean-to,
Oh yeah.
and and it was a big field all around the lean-to, and there was a couple of wooden uh, structures that we kept thinking was like a bear or something, you know. It's just like, so your imagination can really
Oh yeah.
grab a hold of you, you know.
Do you remember the time I wanted to go camping in the backyard in Rowley?
N- yeah, I think I remember that because I mean, that would have been a good place to go camping. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
here's the thing. I was all in it. I was all in for it. I wanted
Mhm.
it, but you made me take Bingo with me into the
Oh, to
tent
protect you.
to
Yeah.
protect me. And
Yeah.
Bingo kept trying to chase everything that ran by, and so
Yeah.
he was going to knock the tent over.
Yeah.
And then you came out and said, "Never mind, forget it." Either because of Bingo or because you were like, I don't know, there's coyotes and stuff. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really safe to be out in the backyard by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's always, yeah, it's
But
kind of,
Bingo kept chasing whatever he saw running outside the tent. And he was going to he kept knocking the tent over and
yeah.
upending the poles.
Doesn't surprise me. I mean, he was such a good protector. That wouldn't surprise me at
Yeah,
all doing
he
that,
was. He was a little
Yeah.
spazzy though when he was, because I zippered him in the tent, but he wanted to get out. So he was like taking the
Yeah.
whole tent down with him.
He wasn't like his settle down thing wasn't a lot because I think he was always kind of on alert for something,
Yeah.
as a protector. So I don't remember him being like Barkley gets really relaxed.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, I mean, I don't remember Bingo doing that. Shadow did it too. Shadow would get relaxed, but uh, yeah, yeah, Bingo didn't, and neither did Chemo. Neither one of those dogs got very relaxed.
No, Chemo
So
didn't know how to relax. She was
you
a
know,
sled dog.
yep, yep, that's it. He just get out and move all over the place. That's going to be his job.
That's
You
so
know,
funny.
so
So funny.
it was funny. We were had a discussion the other day with the pickleball. I don't know, somebody asked one of the gals that was there. She had a Fitbit, and so we talked about the Fitbit and how at one point McDonald's gave out Fitbits. Now they weren't a Fitbit; they were a pedometer, but
Oh yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I didn't remember it. But several people I've talked to have remembered it,
It
and
was probably to promote their salads or something diet related.
yeah, just to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been the great, you know, every once in a while, a first lady or something will have this program for, getting in shape. Like what was it? When I was in high school, it was the president's
Oh,
commission of
the damn
fitness.
fitness test. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you
Oh
had to do
God.
a fitness test.
There's a whole episode just to talk about that fitness test for 1 second. There's a really good podcast called Maintenance Phase, and
Hmm.
it started off talking about diet culture and fitness culture and things like that, but now it's evolved into like healthcare and wellness grifters, which is
Yeah.
fascinating. So they have a lot of grifty stuff that they're exposing. But one of the first episodes was about the presidential fitness test, and it was a deep dive into the history of it, the reasons behind it, and it's complete bullshit and it's completely terrible. And it's basically a training program for future military, you know,
Well,
for future soldiers because they wanted to emulate German and other European techniques for that sort of thing. And so,
yeah, that is
yeah.
exactly true. If you think about, I don't know whether you had it, but we had the rope hanging from the ceiling that we had to
Hmm.
climb up.
Yeah.
And basically, it was just a little mat below,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, so it's like, really? You know,
Oh, we had this little thing called Project Adventure, which
mhm.
wasn't the presidential fitness test. And everything was optional because some of it was dangerous. They had this thing called the rebirth tire. Okay. And it's a tire that was suspended. It was like, with ropes between a
Yeah.
couple of trees. So suspended in the air, probably about 5 feet up.
Hmm.
And It was like a series of trust exercises that you had to do with your
Oh yeah.
classmates, which is terrible because these are teenagers.
Oh yeah. They're about as
Yeah,
trustworthy as
right. And like,
a killer bee.
in this
Yeah.
rebirth time, and also, by the way, teenagers who are largely insecure about their bodies and all of that good stuff.
Yep.
You're touching each other, you're lifting each other. Oh, forget
Mhm.
about it. There's the
Yeah.
just it's just rife for abuse. But
Yep.
this rebirth tire, you have some people on one side and some people on the other side, and you have to lift a person up in teams into this tire head first and push them through as if they're being born, and then
Hmm.
the other team catches you being born on the other side.
Oh
It's
great.
horrible. It's
Oh sure it
terrible.
is. It even sounds horrible. You know.
It's terrible.
It's the whole
You have to
concept sounds horrible.
you have
You
to
know. So
squeeze somebody through this hole and then
yeah.
catch them on the other side. And
No, I'm
again,
sorry. I just
you're a teenage girl, and there's like these dudes who are like gonna grab you and touch you, and like
yeah.
they're disgusted, you're disgusted. It's awful. It was
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. So the further go on this nostalgia trip was
Yeah.
so we got to talk we're talking and I says, I said usually when it comes to facts like this, I date myself, when my kids were young, I would have them look it up in the encyclopedia. And then the person said to me, now that really dates you,
Yes.
so,
We had a
uh,
set of encyclopedias on our
right.
bookshelf. Thank you very
Yep.
much.
Yep.
Yep.
And he asked me a question. I said, look it up in the encyclopedia. So,
Look it up in your Funkin' Wagnalls.
yeah, and then we were talking about the Sears catalog and the Spiegel
Oh,
catalog and
yep.
all the other stuff that used to be, if you really come down to it, was a really a scam. But
Oh,
how
sure.
much how much it used to cost to put those things together, the Sears catalog, and which was the, if you will, the Bible of retail sales. Uh,
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Sears catalog before they had stores, you
right.
know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And you know the story that I did a work study program and I
yeah.
worked at Sears. Okay.
Hmm.
So and we would when they fulfilled orders, they would put a catalog in with each order.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, that was kind of,
You used to be able to buy anything from the Sears catalog.
oh,
I mean,
absolutely
it,
anything,
you could buy
that
a
just,
house.
yeah, and and friends of mine, we were talking about that. We're talking about for guys, a tool.
Hmm.
Tools were like they were lifetime warranties on them.
Oh,
You
yeah.
could bring them
Craftsman.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the Sears thing. It was just sort of a shame that, that it's gone away. But it was at one time it was the standard for all of us. And quite honestly, it wasn't expensive, but it wasn't cheap. It was
Hmm.
like middle of the road. I used to get a lot of my clothes from there, and I got my tools from there. So that was those are the kind of the discussion we were having, the nostalgia thing, and I
Yeah.
was saying the story that in '65, I think, or '66, I think it was that they had the great uh, power outage in the East Coast,
Okay.
and I was working at Sears when that happened. And I had a drive, it was downtown Boston, and I had a drive from Sears back home through Boston with no stoplights, no electricity anywhere, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
quite a challenge. Traffic is bad anyways, and then throw in no lights, it's even worse.
Oh,
So
must have been a shit show.
yeah, it pretty much was. Yeah. So, but as a teenager, it was kind of, for me, it was, hey, this is kind of cool.
Yeah,
So
kind of fun. It's like
yeah,
chaos now.
I
It's the
wouldn't look at that
purge.
now. I'd be cursing it the whole time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the street lights go out quite a bit here in Daytona Beach just
Mhm.
because of weather and things like that. Um, and you quickly realize nobody knows what to do
Yeah.
when the street lights go out. They all turn into little children and they gonna hit you. So I just go on the defensive and I just slow
Speaking
way
of
down.
that, speaking of the what is sort of panic and people don't know what to do,
Yeah.
is that recent panic they had at Daytona.
Hmm.
And the initial reports were that it was gunshots. What it ended up being was plastic water
Yeah, they
bottles.
figured out how to snap them so that it sounded
Right.
like gunshots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sheriff was not pleased. He had another one of his funny press conferences where he swore.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's like, no more of this
Everybody's a
bullshit.
every everyone's a douchebag or a
I know.
bucket or whatever.
I
He's really,
know.
he doesn't hold back.
No, he doesn't. He's very funny. Politically, I don't agree with him, but
Yeah,
he's a really funny dude.
yeah.
There's one little video from that spring
Hmm.
break nonsense that is actually very amusing. Uh, made it, sorry, excuse me. It made its rounds on Facebook. Um, you know, it was a pop-up event, which is basic. It was called like Invade Daytona Beach, and it was not a planned event, which means you don't have the resources that you're
Right,
supposed to have when there's a
right,
planned event.
right.
So there were just thousands of people descending on the beach, most of them underage. And there's this little short video of a teenage girl, and she's got a bottle of tequila, like an expensive bottle of tequila.
Yeah,
And she's like waving it around because she's being an idiot about it.
yeah.
And this cop is just kind of standing next to young cop, just kind of standing next to her. He just casually, I mean casually, grabs it out of her hand, takes the cork out and dumps it on the sand, and then hands it back to her. Here you go. And she just like blink, blink. Oh, oh man.
Yeah,
It's like, what do you think is gonna happen?
yeah. And by the way, I don't know what happened, but that pop-up event,
Yeah.
there was I know the sheriff, when sheriff had one of his press conferences, he said that they were going to go after the person that
Yep.
initiated it financially,
Yeah.
because there's not much they can do about it, because it's already happened. But he was just going to go after him financially,
They
So
did
the
that with the
theory
truck
is,
one.
it was a truck one, but there was also this recent one though, the pop-up one,
Yeah.
where they had, because that, I think that's all tied in together with
Hmm.
what happened with the water bottle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. No, they are. I mean, what I mean is he has a precedent for going after people
Oh, sure.
who initiated these events because he did go after the people who set up the
Oh,
truck
yeah.
event.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
the pop-up truck event was really destructive. These
Hmm.
people were coming in and you could say what you want about Bike Week and the races. There are people who legitimately come here and spend time here and stay in the hotels and eat at the restaurants and spend money at the vendors
Yep.
and take their garbage home with them
Right.
and leave. And, they make a lot of noise when they're here, but they leave.
Right.
And these pop up events do not do that at all. They show up, they trash things, they destroy property. You know,
Yep.
they're like, they're, they're like peeing out the side of their trucks. You know what I mean?
Yep.
On the street. They're doing all kinds of just nasty stuff. And they destroy the beach, by the way.
Yeah.
Um,
And I've heard that, to me, you want to just slap them upside the head, but I've heard other officials, when they criticize how Daytona Beach handles these events and how they clamp down on it, and they say, well, we welcome people come here all the time, these other sections of Florida. And I'm saying to myself,
mm,
dude, you don't you're talking apples and oranges potentially, and the kind of people that go to your event. Was that?
right, right.
Yeah.
You're welcoming a sanctioned event that's planned. That's
Right.
different than welcoming people to invade your town and destroy it. That's
Right.
like
And,
totally different.
right. And they, these people that are criticized, and this is the problem with social media and problem with people doing press conferences, is that I always feel like they have to be confronted on the spot with what they said.
Hmm.
Give them the counter argument. The person you're criticizing, give them a chance to make the argument. You say, hey, what would you do if this happened to you? Is that okay?
Yeah.
And guaranteed it would not be okay.
No, it would not be
Uh,
okay. And half of those people who are armchair critics would be the people who think it would be a good idea to come out of your house with a shotgun in response to this. So it's
right,
a little different than we're going to go after you financially. Those are the same people who shoot kids in the driveway, you know.
right, yeah.
Uh, who are criticizing that. So yeah, whatever. I don't give a lot of those naysayers a lot of credence. They don't live here anyway. Half of them
Right.
who are making those comments don't even live in this town. So
Yep. Yep.
anyway, I got a couple of cute things. So the thing that I was gonna do last time that I didn't end up doing has to do with pubs, public houses
Hmm.
in the UK. And so
Okay.
the initial fact was from my QI book, and it said that there are over 4,000 pubs in the UK called the Red Lion.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, so it led me to do a little research on pubs, and it should surprise no one. Pubs are really old. They've
Right.
been around forever. Probably originating from Roman taverns and Anglo-Saxon ale houses. And, basically they would start as like an inn that was on the way to somewhere. And
Hmm.
the people of the inn, you could stay for a night or two. And they also brewed their own ale. So kind of evolved into like
Hmm.
what later became like a bar with a couple of hotel rooms upstairs,
Right.
But licensing for pubs didn't start until like the 1500s, but there's a pub that claims to be the oldest, and it's the Ye Old Fighting Cocks. Claims to be from the year 793.
Wow.
I know.
Hmm.
I know. There's a lot of old stuff outside of the US. But yeah, so the thing I wanted to talk about mostly was the names of the pubs, but also, kind of like why they have similar names, right? So, a lot of pubs are called like, the Red Lion or the Horse and Bull or
Hmm.
like the Bull and Chicken or some Bull and Cock
A
usually.
ye,
They
ye
like to
old
say
tavern.
Yield Tavern, but usually there's a lot of animal names involved.
Hmm.
So a lot of the reason why most of them are animal names is a few different reasons. Part of it could have been a tribute to the practice of hunting, like game hunting, or it could have been a tribute to the wealthy landowners, the lords of the area. So like the Red Lion could have referred to the lion on their family crest, right?
Oh, yeah.
But,
Okay. Hmm.
kind of makes sense. But the main reason they had like animal names was for simplicity's sake, which is something I didn't think about. I saw this in a documentary and it makes perfect sense. These are, possibly medieval times, possibly longer ago. The majority of people were not literate. And that's no fault of their own. I mean, there was no educational system to speak of, but also it was illegal to read unless you were a monk. you know,
Hmm.
in a lot of history. Um, so people couldn't read. So
Hmm.
you would have a tavern or a pub, and it was called like the Red Lion or the Horse and Bull. And so instead of saying the Red Lion or the Horse and Bull, it would have a picture of a horse and a picture of a bull
Hmm.
up on their sign so that people would know what it was called
Right.
so that they could say where they went, which is it seems like such a simple answer, but it did not occur to me until I heard it said that, yeah, of course, and then it evolved into being called like things like that. But it's what's kind of funny though is that they kind of had to get creative after a while. And there are plenty of pubs that have sexually rude names because of this, mostly because of what they call chickens.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, that's just because we call chickens cocks.
Right. Yep.
Um, but but there are also some creative, funny ones, that are just like, you're doing a picture of something and it's going to be an animal, and I want to have my pub. I might as well have a funny animal name for my pub. So some of the funny ones that I found were the Drunken Duck, which is kind of cute. Uh, Bucket of Blood, that sounds like a great place to just grab a
Yeah.
pint, I guess. Um, the Goat and Tricycle, which sounds like I'd like to see the sign for the Goat and Tricycle.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Leg of Mutton and Cauliflower. And a lot of them do deal with royalty. Like this one is called the Duke Without a Head. Yeah, and they'll do like, they do the play on words where it would be like somebody's arms, but then it would be actual arms instead of like, a coat of arms. Yeah. There's one called Nowhere in Particular, which is very clever. Sirloin of Beef
Hmm.
is another name for a pub in England.
Yep.
The Unruly Pig. There's the Nobody Inn, and My Father's Mustache.
Ah, okay. See, as you were talking about them, it makes me think that some of the pubs with a long name.
Yeah.
How do you say, we're going to the nines for like
Right.
we're going to 99. So it's got
Right.
to be a short circuit to say those.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there definitely is. I mean, if you were going to the Unruly Pig for a drink after work, you'd probably be like, "I'll meet you at the pig," right?
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Because it's weird how my mind flashed that said, okay, if I wouldn't say let's go to the unruly pig. I'd say, like you said, go to the pig. I wouldn't say let's go to the unruly because that means
Yeah.
nothing. So
I don't know. I'll meet you later on at my father's mustache. Sounds pretty.
well, okay, that's good, and we'll help him pick out his nose. So anyway, to go with his mustache, there he goes.
Yeah. But so I thought that was pretty neat though, because
Yeah, that is, yeah, yeah.
even
There's
as
a
a
need that
non-drinker, I do think pubs are very cool.
that your father's mustache sounds like a place that would be pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
at
you know.
least in terms of the name. Yeah. So
And I do like the food that's served in pubs.
yeah.
They do have really good food at pubs. And I know they didn't always, but
Hmm.
and that was a thing I remember seeing it on a TV show. And I don't know if it's a real thing, but it was a TV show about teenagers and they were trying to be like, I want to go drinking in a pub. And of course the age is 18 over there,
Right. Hmm.
but they weren't 18 and they wanted to go drink in a pub. But the only way they could actually be in the pub was to order food. So they
Yeah.
were allowed to go and be at the pub if they could order food as an underage person. So they
Okay.
had to order like, but the kind of pub food that they had is like, it's not like French fries and stuff like that. They had to order
Right.
a roast dinner or some sort of thing. Like,
Really. Yeah.
yeah, they had to, it was the carvery, basically. You had to order like a big thing of meat or something.
Yeah. Because they probably didn't have like what we call snack and stuff or appetizers.
And this was a modern day thing. This was like in the
Oh, okay. So they
2000s.
would
Yeah.
have had it. Okay.
Yeah,
All
but they
right.
were just like, and also incidentally, they were allowed to order cider, which is alcoholic. When
Okay.
you're under 18, you can have cider at a pub,
Uh,
apparently. I don't know if that's really
oh,
true, but
oh,
yeah, so I thought it was a weird rule because I think I got the impression that these kind of pubs added food because of some kind of regulations that they had to, kind of thing. You have to have food at the pub in order to satisfy some sort of rule about you're this kind of a business as opposed to this kind of a business.
yeah, probably. I mean, I think in terms of maybe in terms of what they would get for a license, you
Yes.
know, uh,
Yeah.
and from the other side of the coin, I think when they serve pretzels and chips and stuff like that, that's to get you to drink more,
Oh, sure.
and it would be the same with pub food, which is all sandwiches, and usually it's a high
I,
fat, high salt type things. Yeah,
which is actually recommended for drinking.
yeah.
I learned that in my bartending class that I took years ago, that it's actually
Okay.
recommended that you have alcohol with fatty food because it's better it's better for you. I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I guess the alcohol poisons you less when you have it with fatty food or you get less
Anybody have
sloppy
a
drunk.
used to drink, so
Yeah, I know that a lot of people eat greasy food when they're hungover, so maybe that has something to do with that.
yeah, could be. Yeah.
Never understood that concept. If I don't feel good, I don't want to eat
Yeah.
burgers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, so that's my pubs.
Oh, okay.
Thought that was interesting. I also think it's interesting about the culture of pubs, because generally it's like the one meeting place in a village, right? Is the pub.
Hmm.
Didn't have a lot of activities going on in any given village,
Yeah.
besides the church. So you're either at the church or you're at the pub, as
Right.
far as gathering. And it's a very different, even today. There are certainly pubs you go to like that are very similar to bars where it's just loud and boisterous and the game is on and all that kind of stuff and
Yeah.
darts and
Yeah.
pool. But there are also pubs in a lot of these towns that it's not unusual to go and read a book for a few hours at the pub, like a
Hmm.
coffee house, which is
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I would totally do that and not drink alcohol, but I don't know if they'd think I was a weirdo. I don't know. I was probably better off just going to a coffee place, but
Yeah, probably better off that way. Yeah.
I don't know. I want to absorb the culture without drinking the alcohol.
Yeah, well, there's the a lot of the places like Chili's and other places of that ilk which are
Mhm.
called, they have pub food. Their big thing is, they call it a sports bar or whatever.
Yeah.
Where they will have, sports going on, and you would be drinking and eating. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
All right. And then I had a couple of others. The other thing I had was about alternative fuels, and it's this sparked from the conversation we talked about last time about the wind farms, right?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
And so I wanted to look into alternative fuels that were weird because I like weird things more than I like serious political things. So there's some unusual ones, and there's a lot of stories of individual businesses who are creating sustainability for themselves, which is great by using like the byproducts of their whatever they're manufacturing. Like
Right.
I used to watch like Dirty Jobs,
Hmm. Yeah.
and shows like that where, they would have some sort of a factory, and the factory used its waste to actually create power for the factory, which is really great.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of funny ones actually. So there's a Swedish power plant, and instead of using like fossil fuels, they burn specifically clothes from H&M, the department store.
Okay. All right.
Which is funny. There's a Formula 3 race car that uses a biodiesel that's made derived from chocolate waste. And I went, "Oh, what's chocolate waste? That
Yeah.
sounds interesting." It's actually the rejected chocolate from the Cadbury company. Rejected chocolate they're throwing away is they use it to create a biofuel for this Formula 3 race car.
Yeah, probably the sugar in it would cause
Sure.
it to create an alcohol type thing.
Yeah, and the fat content
Yep.
from the chocolate is going to be a source of energy. Um, and of course, there's poop.
Hmm.
People have been using that for fuel for a very long time, and they still do in a lot of countries. But I guess there's a thing called the biobus in the UK, and they used wastewater and turn it into a biofuel.
Oh, right.
Yeah. There's also, this is really cool. There's a dog park that uses dog poop to fuel their street lamps in the dog park.
Hmm.
That's pretty neat, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
yeah, and in Antwerp, there's like a dance club
Hmm.
that uses the vibrations from the dance floor to power their building. So they've hooked up the vibrations to some sort of machine, which is very
Right,
cool,
right.
to actually power the building, which is so neat.
Yeah, it is neat. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of places could do that. There's a lot of companies that use coffee grounds as waste because there's still a lot of oil in coffee grounds, like
Hmm.
from the coffee beans. Germany, a lot of companies in Germany and Switzerland, they like collect garbage,
Hmm.
and specifically they're looking for coffee grounds to create biofuels.
Yep.
Um, California, they're using like walnut shells and other nuts, like the oils from nuts. And these ones are cool. This one is rumored. Okay. So there's a cosmetic surgeon in California that allegedly has used the leftover liposuction fat to fuel a
Really.
car. Yeah. Now it's illegal to do that. So it's just a rumor, technically, illegally, legally, allegedly. So yeah, so that's not something that's sanctioned. In Stockholm, they use rabbit corpses because they have like an overpopulation of rabbits, so they cull them
Hmm.
and they mix it with wood chips to power the city. Like the whole city is powered by like dead rabbits.
Oh.
I know. And then there's some scientists who are working with jellyfish cells to create biosolar cells, kind of like the way a solar panel works.
Hmm.
Something about jellyfish cells can harness the power of the sun and create energy, which is very cool, especially because jellyfish technically can be immortal and they can regenerate. Um, so they can live forever. Which did we talk about that before?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Uh,
jellyfish have this really amazing ability. And it's not all jellyfish, but it's certain ones. So you know how like certain animals have different stages of development, kind of like
Hmm.
insects do and certain fish
Yeah.
do, where you start off like think about a tadpole, for instance, as an animal that starts off in one little form and then it becomes something else like a tadpole
Right.
and then it becomes a
Right.
frog. So jellyfish have this like initial phase when they're first hatched. That's like I think it's called a polyp
Hmm.
and they're not a real jellyfish yet and they're in that stage for a while and then they develop into an actual jellyfish. Well, apparently they can, if they want to, go back to that polyp stage at
Start
some
all
point
over again.
and they could start
Hmm.
all over again. And
Wow.
you know, like technically they could do that infinite amount of times, which means that jellyfish could technically be immortal if they wanted to.
Huh.
Yeah, so that's cool to have a power source that's 100% sustainable because it would never go away.
Yeah, it would never go away. I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny. I don't that when you're one of the things that I wonder if they'd ever get this usage, but I don't think it'll work. Was canola oil.
Yeah.
Canola oil during World War II was used as an engine lubricant.
Hmm.
Uh, the problem with it using it in a car engine or as a gasoline as a fuel substitute is it tends to leave a sticky residue,
Right.
which is a lot of oils are like that. So then the practicality of it being used as fuel is not there. As a
Hmm.
lubricant, yeah, it's probably useful,
It is.
but
And it is
uh,
used in a lot of industrial. Incidentally, did you know about the origin of that term, canola oil? It was very
no,
interesting.
canola oil was originally rapeseed oil, right?
It is rapeseed oil, yes.
Yeah.
And because of that unfortunate name,
Hmm.
because it's called rapeseed because the name of the plant is called rape, which is it's just because it has origins in a different word.
Right.
Um, in Canada, they changed the name to canola oil, and it's like Canadian oil, CAN for Canada.
Ah, cool. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
There you
why it's
go.
called canola oil. It's the same as rapeseed oil, and people just don't like to say the word rapeseed. They're not going to
I can
buy it if it
understand
says
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
though it does not have the same origin as the word rape. But yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
very interesting. I learned that. When did I learn that? I don't know. On a podcast, probably.
Okay.
That's where
Okay.
I get
Cool.
most of my
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
So my last thing I have is another little segment about Japan because
Oh, okay.
I like Japan and they're funny.
Hmm. Yep.
The things that you can do in Japan because they're very into. I think the reason I like them is they're very into small joys. I think
Hmm.
that's what it is. Everybody has a few moments in their life where they experience pure joy. You got the birth of a child, you got your marriage, all that kind of fun stuff.
Hmm.
But there's something to be said about small pleasures and small joys and enjoying little things and enjoying
Yeah.
fun things that I
Hmm.
really, really admire in cultures like Japan and Korea. South Korea is like that also. They really embrace like things that are cool, things that are cute, things that are neat.
Hmm.
Um, and they do it without irony, which I also love. But Japan is really funny because they're also very good at business.
Hmm.
And they're very good at
Yep.
creating business models and their people are very interested in using those businesses, like cuz oh that sounds cool. A lot of people over here would be like that doesn't make any sense. I don't want to do that.
Right.
But in Japan, they're so creative and the people of the towns, they like enjoy the creativity so much that they'll participate in it, which I admire.
Hmm.
So we're going to talk about like just some different things about Japan. There's a school in Japan where they teach you to act like Anne of Green Gables. Now, I don't know if you
Oh.
know like that. So the Anne of Green Gables series, the series of books, and also the Canadian television series from the 80s
Hmm.
was huge in Japan. Like I loved it. I grew up watching it on PBS. I'll still watch it. I just bought it on Prime. But in Japan, it's like a whole thing. Like they
Hmm.
dress up like it. They'll go tons of Japanese tourists go to Prince Edward Island to visit. It's like a huge thing for them. And they have it's like a nursing school and it's nursing and social work school. where they teach you to embody the spirit of Anne Shirley, which I just think is the nicest thing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, because anybody who's read those books, she was a very interesting character. I mean, she she was high energy.
Mhm.
She was highly imaginative. She was very lost in her imagination most of the time, but she was extremely kind and she always wanted to help others and always wanted to show others about the joys of life, right? And about how to enjoy things and how to like love each other and how to like be cool. And the beginning books, like the first couple of books, are about how she would mess up in a very funny way and
Yeah.
how she would get out of it and how, oh, Anne's overreacting again. And she broke a slate over Gilbert's head and all this kind of stuff. But then the later books, it always talked about like, you know, she would encounter this lady who was all shut up in her house and she was older and she didn't want to talk to anybody and she was grumpy. And Anne just simply would go over and visit her like once a week. And eventually she turned her into a kindred spirit.
Oh,
You know,
cool.
and that was
Yeah.
like the theme of most of the books. It was always like a person that she won over with her kindness. And so I thought that was really nice that this social work
Mhm.
uh, educational program was sort of taking those lessons. Um, there's also an Anne Academy in Japan that teaches English using a Prince Edward Island accent, which is also cute. Yep. But some rental services and some businesses that they have in Japan. So there's a place. This is really cool. It's a remote controlled robot cafe.
Mm.
Okay. So all the employees work from home due to disability, and they remotely control these robots that do the serving at the cafe.
Wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
isn't that cool? So
Yeah.
like, yeah, you go to the cafe and there's a robot that serves you whatever it is you're getting at the cafe, and it's being
Mm.
run by somebody who can't work outside the home for whatever reason, which is
Wow. That's cool. Yeah.
yeah, so neat. Um,
Mm.
another business model in Japan, which I'm sure you've seen. You've seen the trains in Japan, like how
Yeah. Yeah.
crowded they are.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, they have people whose job it is to be a train pusher. Have you ever seen that?
No, I didn't. Yeah.
They like literally push, they shove you into the train
Oh, okay.
and like
Okay.
pack you in, and there's like people and they're wearing gloves too. And they like push you, physically push you into the train when the door so that before the doors close.
Yeah, I think I have seen that, a
Yeah.
video of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't, I don't recall that it was Japanese, but I'm not saying it wasn't. I just remember seeing the video. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that bullet train thing. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I listen, I like innovation, but I don't like crowds. So I don't think I'd
Mm.
want to be that close to somebody.
No, well, when you take a train at rush hour,
Yeah.
if there is nothing for you to hold on to,
Oh,
usually it's so crowded that you just sort of move with
yeah.
the whole group.
That's no
So,
good. That's just rife for problems. I don't
of
I
course it is. Yeah. Yeah.
um and I think we talked about in previous episodes about like you can rent like mourners for your funeral or
Hmm.
guests
Yep.
for a
Hire
wedding and
more.
things like
Right.
that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Boyfriends, you can rent a boyfriend, you can rent a
Yeah.
date.
Yeah.
There's that one where you can rent a guy. This is so chauvinistic, but I guess, they do a lot of the gender norms over there. Uh, you can, if you're a woman, you can rent somebody to come to you while you cry and just look at you tenderly and wipe your tears away. It's
Mm.
like an attractive dude will come and be
Okay.
like, it's okay, and brush your hair,
Yeah.
lightly,
Okay.
wipe your tears away. But they but they also have what's called a middle-aged man rental. And they say middle-aged, and I'm not sure how they categorize middle-aged. And I think they're really saying like older man, right?
Right. Hmm.
Because you can rent a dude who's like late middle age maybe, so that he can give you advice
Ah,
and
okay.
be your mentor and like go for
There you go.
walks with you
Yeah.
and
Cool. Mm.
be your dad basically.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cute. They also have nap cafes, which we have in California too, but uh not here. But they have a nap cafe where you could pay a couple of yen and take a 30-minute nap in one of these little pods. And they
I
also
think I
have,
could do
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, and they actually encourage naps in Japan. I remember reading ones that like if you work in an office and you're caught like sleeping at your desk, it's considered to be a good sign in Japan because it means you work so hard
Mm,
that you're so tired that you need a little nap. So it's like a praise thing.
mm, okay.
But yeah, so you can rent pets in Japan, which I think that would be the only way that I would want like a dog. I love dogs, but I don't want to have a dog all the time.
Yep.
So yeah, I could rent a dog for an afternoon, go to like a dog park and play with the dog, and then bring the dog back. Bye bye. So that'd be kind of cool. Um, Also Christmas trees, which is like, why don't we do this here? They rent Christmas trees there. So you don't have to like put it in, storage for the whole
Mhm.
year and only have it for like 2 or 3 weeks. You can just go
Yeah,
rent your tree just for like the Christmas season,
yeah. That sounds like a, yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's better than being disposable and just throwing it away or
that's
whatever,
true. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And I can imagine, like in a lot of Japanese cities, there's not a lot of storage, right? They don't have like big
But yeah, they
houses.
don't have,
Yeah.
right, right. Yeah,
So
they're
it
so
makes sense
crowded.
that
Yeah,
you don't have room for something like that, but you kind of want one at Christmas. So
sure.
you just
Yeah,
rent it. So that's totally
that,
innovative.
that makes
Um,
sense. Yeah. For
yeah.
them, yeah. Hmm.
They also have apology services, which we may have touched on
Yeah.
before. You can have somebody apologize for you, which is, I mean, we kind of have that here. We just don't have a person doing it. Like dudes buy
Mm.
flowers for their wives all the time to apologize
Yeah,
for
yeah,
stuff
that's true. Yeah.
or whatever. Um, but you can hire someone to quit your job for you in Japan.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Yeah, which is like, oh, that's fun. And I wonder if they also do breakups. Like, if you wanted to break up with somebody and you just couldn't do it, like, could you just, I don't know, hire somebody to come do it
Hire
for you?
a breakup artist. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
or even
it's
without
not
bre
you, it's me. Okay.
it's not, it's definitely not me because I was hired for this, but it's not that guy. It's
Yeah.
this guy.
It's not you and it's not me, it's them.
It's them. It's totally a different subject.
Yeah.
Well, and I was thinking about the breakup thing, but I was also thinking about wouldn't it be great if you could hire somebody to break plans? Because I love breaking plans. I
Yeah.
don't want to break the plans, but I love it when the plans get canceled.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
great. There's nothing better than having a gathering with a bunch of like friends and then have them say that they can't make it. As
Okay.
much as I love friends,
So
it's
you
so
hire
nice.
somebody to, break plans. That's not
Hire
bad.
somebody,
Yeah.
yeah, hire somebody to say sorry that can't make it tonight, but
Yeah.
we'll get together soon, I promise.
Yep. Yes, we'll get together.
We should totally I'll have my people call your people. Wait, isn't that what
That's
that's
right.
all about? What? Oh,
Yeah.
maybe we do have those services, or maybe we used to have those
We
services.
used, yeah, maybe we did it secretaries or assistants.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I was rewatching 9 to 5 a
Oh
couple of
yeah.
weeks ago, and also like when you're watching Mad Men, whenever you're watching Mad Men, you realize that like how much secretaries used to do
Oh yeah.
for the marriage of these gentlemen.
Hmm.
And literally like secretaries used to do all the Christmas shopping for these dads.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
like
Yeah.
used to buy the wife stuff and oh, get my wife a scarf. Well, it's really for the
Yeah.
secretary, but get my wife a scarf and go take care of this and go take care of that. It's like I know that people do that still. They're called personal assistants. Like super rich people have personal assistants, but like, damn, I mean, I wish I could afford a personal assistant. Just like,
Yeah.
can you go do just go to Costco for me. That's all I need.
That's right. Yeah.
Actually, I do have that. It's called DoorDash.
Yeah.
So it's called Instacart.
Instacart. Yeah.
Instacart brings my Costco to me so I don't have to like wrangle Richard around Costco.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try to make him not kill people. So yeah, so that's those are some of the cool services you can get in Japan in addition to all the really cool vending machines that we already talked
Oh
about
yeah.
in
We've
another
seen those.
episode.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, which I'm still my boss and I, when we fantasize about having enough money to start our own business, I told her that we should start our own business and bring back the automats. And we should have one here in town, and it's just like an automat, but it's like nice fresh, nice fresh food, and but you don't have to talk to anybody because we're all back behind a wall, and people
Yep.
just put their money in and they get the nice yummy food. And they do that like in a lot of places, like in South Korea, in Japan, and a lot of Asian countries. You walk up to a thing, basically a kiosk, or just one person, and you order like certain noodles, and then you just stand there and they pass them to you through a window. It's nice.
Yeah, they had those. Obviously, they had them in New York, but they had them in Boston too.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's obviously there'd be some challenges to it, but
Yeah.
I think it would have a niche for it.
I think so. I mean, we're back in a place where we're comfortable with automation
Yeah,
and we're also comfortable with convenience, you know. And so I think, yeah, I think the automat would be cool to have a comeback because, I mean, we like vending machines, but wouldn't it be nice if the stuff in the vending machine was like higher quality, like a real meal, you know?
yeah, yeah. I think well, that would obviously be the challenge to that. But
Yeah, you just have the kitchen behind a wall you know, instead of waiters bringing the food on plates, you just have everybody working behind a wall and just put it on a plate in a little door.
yeah,
I think that could work. Oh, we'll work it out, you know.
mm,
Somebody just has to give us a bunch of money and then we can do it.
yep.
So so folks, that's where you come in. Send us a bunch of money. First, you can send me an email. I'm at mochiverse@gmail.com. That's MOCCIAVERSE at gmail.com. You can subscribe to us on any of the podcast catchers, and I'm sure you could find some way to send me money. If you send me that email, I'll give you like my Venmo. Uh, you could if all of you send me $5, I'll have $25.
Mm.
So that would be a start. Yeah, but tell your friends, tell your family that you like listening to people just talking about stuff, which is really what we're doing here. And also tell them how much you like listening to dad jokes.
Ba-dum-bum. What did the mother broom say to the baby broom?
What?
Time to go to sweep.
Aw.
Yeah, I know. The other day, I was attacked by a bunch of circus clowns in a parking lot.
Oh.
I won, though, because I went right for the jugular.
That's really good.
Yeah,
I like that one. Right
yeah,
for the juggler.
yeah. I'd like to shout out to sidewalks for keeping me off the streets.
Yep, yep.
What's the shark's favorite saying? Man overboard. You know,
Very good.
what did one slice of bread say to the other before the race?
What?
You're toast.
Oh,
I poured some water over Duck's back yesterday. I don't
mm,
think he cared.
no.
Why did the electric car feel discriminated against?
Oh,
Yeah,
why?
because the rules weren't current. Oh man, I gave this handyman a to-do list,
Uh-huh.
and but he only did jobs 1, 3, and 5.
Which
Turns
is
out he only does odd jobs.
he
Yeah,
only does odd jobs.
yeah,
Good.
yeah. Like this. Hey, it's not easy being a mom.
Hmm.
Otherwise, dads would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, doctor, you have to help me out. Certainly. Which way did you come in? Doctor, I think a caterpillar. Don't worry, you'll change soon.
You'll change soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Doctor, my child just swallowed a pen. What should I do? Use a pencil. Doctor, I feel like a pair of curtains. Well, pull yourself together again.
Nice.
Yeah. Doctor, my little boy swallowed a bullet. What should I do? Well, for a start, don't point him at me.
That's good.
Let's see. Doctor, you've got to help me. I think I'm a kleptomaniac. Don't worry. I think there's something you can take for that here. Doctor, I keep thinking I'm a spoon. Listen, just sit there and don't stir.
Wow.
Yeah, you know. Doctor, should I file my nails? Nails? No, throw them away like everybody else.
Good, good.
Yeah. Doctor, how can I avoid falling hair? Step to one side.
I love it.
Okay.
Wow. Is that all of them?
No, there's a bunch more. There's a whole bunch. Doctor, can you give me something for my head? No, thanks. I've already got one. Doctor, I keep thinking I'm a dog. Just lie down on the couch and I'll examine you. Oh, I can't. I'm not allowed on the furniture.
Yeah.
Doctor, this ointment you gave me makes my arm smart. Good. Then rub it some on your head.
Yeah.
Uh, Doctor, I'm suffering from insomnia. Now, listen, why don't you try sleeping at the edge of the mattress? You'll soon drop off.
That's good.
Doctor, last one. I'm really worried about my breathing. Well, we'll soon put a stop to that.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh boy. Well, that's all for us folks. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.
Bye.
That's good.
Daddy wasn't finding a bow wow. Daddy wasn't finding a bow wow. I got a little cat. I'm very fond of that. I'd rather have a big bow wow.
They do have wings, buy one get one free, which is a better deal because you could share
Wings
wings.
would be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I just don't feel like wings.
Yeah, you don't look like wings either.
I don't
so.
look like wings. No, see? Oh my God. That's going to be in there. I'm going to put that at the end.